Jealousy. Let's start with one of the most misunderstood red flags: jealousy. Many people mistake jealousy for love. Movies romanticize it, songs celebrate it. Some people even believe that if someone gets jealous, it proves they care. But healthy love and unhealthy jealousy are very different things. A small amount of jealousy is normal. We're human. We all experience insecurity from time to time. The problem begins when jealousy becomes control.
A jealous partner may constantly question where you are, who you're talking to, who liked your photo, why you took longer to reply. At first, it may sound harmless. They might say, "I just worry about you. I care about you so much. I don't want to lose you." But over time, the questions become accusations. The concern becomes suspicion, and the relationship starts feeling less like love and more like surveillance. The truth is that extreme jealousy isn't usually about love. It's about fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of betrayal, fear of losing control. And when fear starts controlling a relationship, trust begins disappearing. A healthy partner trusts you. An unhealthy partner constantly investigates you. That's a crucial difference.
Love bombing. Now let's talk about a red flag that often feels wonderful in the beginning. Love bombing. Imagine meeting someone who seems absolutely obsessed with you. They text constantly, call constantly, compliment you nonstop, tell you you're their soulmate after only a few days, talk about marriage within weeks, and make you feel like the most important person in the world. Sounds romantic, right? Sometimes it is.
But sometimes it's manipulation. Love bombing creates emotional intensity before genuine trust has been built. The relationship moves incredibly fast. Everything feels exciting, almost magical. But then something changes. The attention decreases. The affection becomes inconsistent. The person who couldn't get enough of you suddenly seems distant.
And now you're chasing the feeling they created in the beginning. That's why love bombing is dangerous. It creates emotional dependency, not emotional intimacy. Real relationships develop slowly. Trust takes time. Love takes time. Anyone trying to rush that process deserves careful attention. Controlling behavior, one of the biggest red flags in any relationship, is controlling behavior. The problem is that control rarely announces itself openly. Most controlling people don't say, "I want to control you." Instead, they disguise control as concern. Concern for your safety, concern for your choices, concern for your future. At first, it may sound reasonable. Maybe they tell you what to wear, who to spend time with, what to post online, how to spend your money, or where you should go. The requests seem small, but they slowly increase. Little by little, your freedom starts shrinking, and often you don't notice until much later. Control isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's disguised as love. But healthy relationships are built on respect, not authority. A partner should influence your life. They should never try to manage it. Lying. Trust is the foundation of every healthy relationship, and lying slowly destroys that foundation. Not all lies are equal. Everyone is told a small lie at some point, but repeated dishonesty creates a much bigger problem. The issue isn't just the lie itself, it's what happens afterward. Once trust is broken,
uncertainty takes its place. You begin questioning everything. If they lied about one thing, what else are they lying about? Was that story true? Was that explanation real? Can I trust what they're saying now? Eventually, the relationship becomes exhausting. Not because of the truth, because of the doubt. Healthy relationships require emotional safety, and emotional safety cannot exist without honesty. The moment someone consistently chooses deception over transparency, trust begins to disappear. And rebuilding trust is far harder than maintaining it. Lack of empathy. Empathy is one of the most important qualities in any relationship. It's the ability to understand and care about another person's emotions. Without empathy, relationships become one-sided. Imagine sharing something painful with someone. You explain how hurt you feel, how disappointed you are, how much you're struggling. And instead of understanding, they dismiss you. They minimize your feelings or make the conversation about themselves. People with low empathy often struggle to recognize the emotional impact of their behavior. When they hurt someone, they focus on defending themselves rather than understanding the damage they've caused. This doesn't necessarily make someone evil, but it does make healthy relationships much harder. Because love isn't just about being understood, it's also about understanding others. And without empathy, emotional connection becomes incredibly difficult. Gaslighting. Now let's discuss one of the most psychologically damaging red flags. Gaslighting. Gaslighting occurs when someone repeatedly causes you to question your own reality. Maybe they deny things they clearly said. Maybe they insist events happen differently. Maybe they tell you you're imagining things, being dramatic, being overly sensitive. Over time, something dangerous happens. You stop trusting yourself. You begin relying on them to define reality. And that's where manipulation becomes powerful. The goal of gaslighting isn't simply winning an argument. It's creating confusion, because confused people are easier to control. The most dangerous part, gaslighting often happens gradually. Victims rarely notice it immediately. Instead, they slowly lose confidence in their own judgment until they begin doubting themselves more than the person hurting them. Passive aggression. Not everyone expresses anger directly. Some people express it indirectly. That's passive aggression. Instead of communicating openly, passive-aggressive people communicate through sarcasm, backhanded compliments, silent resentment, or subtle acts of resistance. For example, "Wow, I guess you're too busy for everyone now." Or, "It's fine, do whatever you want," even though it's clearly not fine. The problem with passive aggression is that it creates confusion. The real issue never gets addressed. Instead, frustration builds beneath the surface. Healthy relationships require honest communication. Passive aggression avoids honest communication while still expressing hostility. And over time, this creates tension, resentment, and emotional distance, because problems can't be solved when nobody is willing to discuss them openly. Isolation. Perhaps one of the most dangerous red flags is isolation. Isolation occurs when someone gradually separates you from the people who support you, your friends, your family, your social connections. At first, it may seem harmless. Maybe they complain about your friends. Maybe they discourage certain relationships. Maybe they make you feel guilty for spending time with other people. Over time, your social world becomes smaller. Without realizing it, you begin relying almost entirely on them.
And that's exactly why isolation is so powerful.
The fewer perspectives you have, the easier it becomes for someone to influence your thinking. Healthy partners encourage relationships outside the relationship. They want you to have friends, family, support systems. Unhealthy partners often see those connections as competition, and that's when isolation begins. The goal may not always be intentional, but the result is the same. The more isolated you become, the harder it becomes to recognize unhealthy behavior.